6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the streams, enjoying the videos, make sure you do drop a like on the stream. It helps promote the channel more. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And of course, share it with your friends, does help promote the channel further as well. But hope everyone is doing well. Good morning, good morning. What's up, Rexis? Hope you're doing good, my man. As always, a bunch of markets to get through. USD is looking somewhat interesting. I've got some intraday moves I'm keeping a close eye on, as well as looking at what's going on in the yen pairs, because we've just seen a pretty intense move there, and that's definitely changed the plan on a couple of pairs, especially pound yen and dollar yen, which I had coming into the week. So we're going to revisit that very, very soon. But as always, guys, drop any requests, any trade ideas, any charts you want me to take a look at, and of course we will discuss and chat about what's going on, because not in trades at the moment, but I am eyeing up a few ideas, especially on pound USD as well. Hey, what's up, Rory? Hope you're doing good, my man. Welcome back. Good to see you. Appreciate it, Rexis. Drop a like, does really help out. Anywho, let's get to it. So we'll start with the dollar. So USD is still seeing some weakness since we have started the new week. Of course, if you look at the bigger picture, the market is pretty bearish. We are still seeing very much a bearish trend. However, we are slowing down. The trend is becoming a bit more corrective. If you compare this stage of the trend to this stage of the trend, you can see we're in different phases. This was a very aggressive, very impulsive trend. There was a lot of momentum, healthy trend. Now that, of course, has changed, has shifted, a bit more corrective, not really breaking through lows as well as we did previously. As you can see, we created a low, just about swept it, then recovered. And especially with this low, just about swept it and recovered pretty quickly. So there's a clear sign that dollar is weakening. Well, the trend is weakening. It has been weak, but the trend is weakening, and we could be looking at possibly a reversal / maybe a counter bullish trend that does form for a while. So that's kind of where the bullish bias has come from myself. And especially over the past few days, week or so, we have seen some upside and some bullish structure. However, the pullback we've seen over the past 2-3 days, starting from, I think, Thursday last week, so Thursday, Friday, Monday, and coming into Tuesday, hasn't been how I want it to be. It hasn't looked as healthy as I want it to be. Again, as I say all the time, when pullbacks happen, I do want them to be very corrective, a lot more corrective than the impulse leg. So if price was giving us a very strong up move, I do want to see price really slow, really corrective on the way back down, giving me that kind of zigzaggy price action. That shows that, okay, this is most likely going to be a pullback, most likely going to be a correction, and my plan is to buy the dips, excuse me, or of course wait for the breakouts. But then I can be confident that, okay, this bearish move is likely a correction for us to continue higher. So my bias is pretty straightforward. In this case, we have been pretty aggressive on the way down. It hasn't been anything crazy. I would still say this looks more corrective than this up move, but it's not perfect either. So intraday, I do think we can see a bit more downside for dollar, but I am still looking for the buys anywhere in this area. Technically speaking, dollar would have to take out that low for me to get rid of that bullish bias completely. So USD could do what it likes inside here, and potentially I might find my entry later on this week to take it higher. But intraday, there still might be a bit more downside to take advantage of the dollar. And by intraday, I mean like the 50-minute chart might still give you some shorting opportunities. You can see we are still looking pretty bearish for now, still putting lower lows and lower highs. We could very much still see another pullback and another short opportunity. So for the next 24 hours, you might still be able to catch a USD short idea. So maybe like a buy in pound or buy in euro, which we'll get into momentarily. But I do still see a bit more downside for USD until those buys are ready, because I don't think the buys are ready yet. That was the plan coming into the week, looking to buy the dollar, looking to sell pound, looking to sell euro, buy dollar CHF, which I quite like, and we will take a look in a moment. But that isn't ready. That bias is not ready yet. So I'm being patient with that, and maybe if I can, I might find some intraday opportunities to short the dollar before I do buy it maybe later on in the week. So that's very much my view, very much my plan with the USD for now. So take a look at Euro USD. So again, we've had a nice bounce of support recently. I am still looking to see if Euro can fall and put another lower high in. Basically anywhere within this area, we could form that lower high and come back to attack the lows and further potentially. Again, this is the lower high that gave us this low. So equally to what we just saw in the DXY, as long as price doesn't take out this high here, I'm still going to retain somewhat of a bearish bias. Of course, it will very much depend how we do operate and how we do move in these areas. But so far, I am still looking for this idea for Euro for us to return back to the lows and basically continue this bearish structure. Of course, the bigger play is still very much bullish. The bigger trend is still very much bullish. But I'm looking for a small counter trend move for now. So yeah, Euro USD, the bias hasn't budged. Still looking for the shorts. But again, when I do drop to the 4 hour, I do drop to the hourly chart. I'm not the biggest fan of looking to sell Euro just yet. I can see we're starting to become a bit more corrective, which is a good sign, but I do think Euro might have a bit more of a complex pullback, and then I find some shorts later in the week, and then I get the short I'm looking for, and that could take a couple of days. So being a bit more patient with Euro, and equally being very patient with a pound. So patient that I'm looking to see if I can take some buys before maybe I sell it later on. Particularly on the 15-minute chart, because I'm looking at the structure in the 15. This is a pretty nice uptrend at the moment. Yes, we have been pretty bearish over the past few days, but we have seen a very impressive recovery, and we have started to see some bullish structure come into play. Higher highs and higher lows in a very consistent manner here for pound, and I'm looking to see if I can catch the next higher low for the next high. I'm not looking for pound longs for a crazy move for a big swing idea. It's very intraday what I'm looking at, and the setup I'm eyeing is a pullback into this zone, because again, that's where we had our last kind of pullback before we had this consolidation, and we did rip to the upside moderately well with some healthy momentum. And I quite like how we shaped up. We've got this low just hovering above that area. It would be very nice to see if pound can have one more drive back into this zone, tap into that, take out this low, and then that's where I look to find my entries. That's where I look to put an entry, put a stop loss below, and see if I can take it back to highs. And that's all I'm looking for pound USD. I'm not looking for anything more than that, because my bias is still bearish on the 4 hour chart, on the daily. Still very much looking for more downside in this area. All I'm looking to do is if I can find a short-term buy, take it back to resistance, and then maybe sell it towards the end of the week. So that's all I'm looking for on pound USD, and that bias kind of is derived from the same analysis more or less on the DXY as well, looking for a bit more downside on the dollar for some buys very, very soon. And that was the plan coming into the week, just looking to really buy the dollar and sell pound. But I can see, judging the price action, that move isn't quite ready yet. And then when I do drop to the 15-minute time frame, the intraday time frames, I can see some buy opportunities in the short term. So I'm going to see if I can get that. I'm still asking a lot from the market. I do need to see a push down into 1.341, almost 1.34 if I'm going to find some entries. Very much pound could just rally and go and take out the highs from here. If that's the case, I'm not really interested in buying pound USD. At current price, we're close to resistance. The market's a little bit choppy here. So I don't really see much value in the buys right now. But should we make a move back to the lows here, tap into that zone, take out these lows, reject well wicks, bullish engulfing candles, I do think we can find some really nice entries, some really nice stops, and targets back at the high and still walk away for decent return. So that's kind of my take for pound and kind of what I'm looking at for USD for now. Dollar CAD still at an interesting price, still failing the highs here. Again, we don't really know what's going to happen with the USD. So if USD is going to be weak, we could really see dollar CAD drop here. I'm still having a bullish bias on the dollar for now, and that's really the main reason why I have not found any entries or not taken any entries with dollar CAD, because we are positioned very well. I did actually really like this on the 8-hour chart. Really nice close, a lot of wicks to the upside, and we have come back into a very key area of supply, and price just tapped into that. And I'm looking to see if we can at least have a reaction, which so far we are doing. I do think price is probably going to make a move back into that low, or that high, I should say. Maybe here. Dollar will need to really start to tank if we're going to get there. But I can see price doing something like this. And if USD strength does kick in, then we could see price very much continue. So that's kind of my take on dollar CAD for now. And if I go take a look at Aussie dollar, so Aussie dollar has been interesting because Aussie has been quite strong. So yeah, I did say I was looking for some shorts coming into the week, but looking at this price action, that has definitely made it a little bit difficult because, yeah, I'm still looking to short it, but this pullback is not how I want it to shape up at all. Very, very aggressive. We had a really aggressive wick this morning as well. Not even this morning. That was a couple of hours ago. And we're looking pretty bullish since then as well. So with Aussie dollar, yes, I'm still looking to short. Yes, price is still trading in the zone I mentioned, which is this consolidation here. Then I do think price can continue lower. But yeah, it just doesn't look like it does want to go lower. The retracement's too aggressive. We're picking up some momentum here. I could see this being a bit of a V-shaped pattern, which is a reversal pattern, and that should indicate more upside. So I'm being careful with Aussie dollar. I can see price breaking higher. Again, that's why my thumbnail yesterday was patience on USD longs, because I don't really see the USD being ready to be bought just yet, especially from like a swing bias. Intraday, you can find your opportunities here and there. But if you're looking for a swing trade that could last a few days, maybe a week, I don't quite see the buys ready yet. So being patient with that with pound, being patient with that with euro, Aussie, New Zealand dollar as well. This has had a really aggressive move to the downside, but I said yesterday, we're not in a great place to be looking to short. You can see as price keeps taking out these lows, what tends to happen is we have pretty big pullbacks. As you can see over there, as you can see over there, and as you can see, price is kind of doing the same now. Of course, we haven't really gone through it yet, but we're in the early stages of it. So we don't really want to be shorting New Zealand dollar from current price, even though, yes, there's a nice zone here we could tap into, continue. But I just think it's just in an illogical place to find entries and take a short, especially if you're looking for a more of a swing position. Intraday, looking for a quick bounce, you can get away with it. So yeah, New Zealand dollar, that's kind of where I'm at with this one. And in terms of gold, gold's been pretty bullish. We're having a bit of a pullback, but I think we did tap into, yeah, we smashed 3,800, we smashed 3,850, didn't quite get to 3,900, but yeah, gold's just ticking off these prices as we go along. And again, I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing bearish candles. This to me just looks like opportunity. This looks like price is having another pullback. Yes, it's somewhat aggressive right now, but again, I don't expect price to be perfectly, corrective on the way down, especially when it's quite overextended. We might see some harsh retracements with gold and silver for that matter as well. So yeah, the interest will be this zone here. I think we're going to have a slightly deeper pullback than usual, but this zone is going to be our first kind of obstacle, if you will, for gold bears. If gold bears can break through this, we might see a lot more downside. If they don't, if they do start to fail, and we should see some wicks, momentum dies out, this could be a great place for a buy back into the high, and then maybe 3,900 is our next target. So keeping an eye on that for gold. Way too early to be jumping into some longs right now. We're still kind of in free fall, so I would not be looking at gold buys at all just yet. Even if we do start to find support a little bit, I wouldn't be jumping into that way too early. But that is still the idea. Still looking to buy gold, take it back to 3,900 and beyond. Just not ready yet. And in terms of silver as well, yeah, it's pushing down pretty aggressively. Kind of expected at some point. We're not going to just continue flying forever. Very, very close to all-time highs. We're looking at 50 for that, so not too far away anymore. And just kind of keeping a close eye on these areas. That's my zone of interest now. We'll see what we can do down there. And that could be a great place for a buy back to highs and continuous momentum from then onwards. So very, very bullish on silver, very bullish on gold. Yes, we're seeing some downside, but I think that's just opportunities coming our way. USD, I'm still looking to see if I can buy it. I don't think it's ready yet. So I'm looking to see if I can squeeze some short-term sells before that dollar bullish bias does actually set up. And then we'll go from there. And pound USD is one of the USD pairs I quite like. And also, quickly, dollar CHF too. I actually do like this one from a bullish standpoint. It looks almost identical to the DXY, but you can see a very strong up move there. We've had a bit of a pullback, and I'm looking to see if I can find some buys. We've come back into a nice demand zone here. Brief consolidation, rip to the upside. I'm looking to see if we can poke through this low and then find some entries on a buy there. That's very much the plan for dollar CHF. Yeah, we've come very close to that, not quite doing it. Potentially we could double bottom and push from there, but the way I see it, the market is quite flat right now. So if I'm going to find an entry, I want it to be as close to this low as possible, so I can at least profit on a move to the high. I don't want to be entering here, because then I'm going to be greeted by resistance very, very quickly, and price could very much just roll back against me, so I'll be instantly back in drawdown. So I want to find some entries close to this area here, stops underneath the low, then profit on a move there. And if we do get the breakout, then I'm looking really good, and a push to the high there makes sense. So dollar CHF, USD pair, which I do like the look of. This one does favor USD buys. I'm going to keep an eye on DXY to see if that's shaped up enough before I do get long. But yeah, no need to rush into anything. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD for now. What's up, Jeremy? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Hey, what's up, Bashi, my man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Jeremy, I'm currently on pound USD. What do you think? Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can find some short-term buys for pound. Again, it's more of intraday bias. I am still looking for longs in USD throughout the week, but it just doesn't look quite ready yet. So I'm looking to see if I can find some short-term opportunities before we do continue that bullish bias on the dollar itself. Bashi, Jacob Mike, yeah, there is a bit of an echo today. Apologies, because I'm moving some furniture around, so it's a bit bare in the room, and it's quite a big room as well, so my voice is just kind of bouncing off the wall. So I do apologize for that, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm using the correct mic. Yeah, I am. It's just, yeah, my voice is bouncing off the wall, so I do apologize for that. Hey, appreciate it, Bashi. Thank you. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And of course, drop any requests, any chats in the comment section, and we'll go through them and discuss. I'll quickly go through pound for Jeremy. Okay, no worries, Bashi. Take care, my man. Busy one today. Okay, no problem. Yeah, price action comes and goes, my man. On the bright side, the audio is loud. Good, at least you can hear me. Gold, yeah, Rex says we could take a look as well. No problem. Okay, take care, Bashi. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, so we'll go through pound quickly, then I'll go through the platform, then we'll take a look at some other pairs in a bit more detail. Of course, any requests, put it in the chat and we shall take a look. But yeah, for pound USD, as I mentioned, I am looking for some short-term buys. Don't really have an entry yet, so it's very much a waiting game to see if I do actually get a setup to actually take the trade. But this is essentially what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a push down. Of course, Jeremy, let me know what time frame you're working on as well, because I'm not too sure if you're intraday or slightly swing, and you know, I can help you out a little bit more if I kind of know your time scale. But From an intraday point of view, this is the plan. Looking for a push into 1.341 and then some buys off there. Now, pound USD very much could rally and just continue from there. If that's the case, that's the case. But I'm looking to see if we can have one more push down, back into this low, back into this demand zone, and then buy off that. That's really very much the plan. And all I'm looking to do is see if I can continue this momentum that we've seen since last Thursday. So nothing drastic. I do think the bigger move for pound is a push down. Of course, we've been very, very bearish over the past few days. And now that we've pulled back into this area, I do think eventually price is going to run out of steam and eventually put a lower high in and continue lower. So that is still very much my bias. I'm still looking for the dollar to do the opposite, which is put a higher low in here and then push back up. So that's still very much the plan. But I'm looking to see if I can find some intraday buys in the meantime. And at the moment, price is nowhere near actually giving an entry. So yeah, it's just a patient one. We might see it happen. It does look like price is really struggling here, so I can see a world where we do push down. This could maybe set up New York session. We'll wait and see, but that's very much my idea for pound USD. And also, guys, if you haven't checked out the Perks platform, make sure you go do that. I have linked it in the chat. I'm pretty sure I've pinned it at the chat, but again, we're still running competition on the platform. It's free to enter, just a bit of fun to get used to the platform and trading with the platform as well. There will be cash prizes for the best performing traders during the competition. At the moment, there's a bunch of different cryptocurrencies you can trade. There will be FX, commodities, indices, other markets added to the platform very, very soon. You will need either an Ethereum or Solana wallet to connect to the platform and trade with, but very easy to set up. And once you do, you can connect your wallet directly to the platform. You can use your email as well, but I would recommend to go get a Solana or Ethereum wallet, and you can connect and trade live or trade demo. Very, very quick withdrawals. You don't have to worry about restrictions and waiting periods. Pretty much instantly as you close your trades, you can withdraw your profit very, very quickly. So if you haven't checked out the platform, go do so. I'll drop the link to the form in the chat. So if you are interested in participating in the competition, again, just a bit of fun, you can drop your email in that form and you shall be entered, and more information regarding the competition as well will be relayed to you guys soon as well. So check it out if you're interested. I do have a video on my channel going through the platform and how to use it as well. So check that video out if you are interested too. Okay, so I'll quickly go through gold for Rexis. Rory, if USD goes below the second last candle on our chart, is that a place to enter short back towards support? Okay, we'll go take a look at that. Let me just go through gold quickly. So yeah, as I mentioned for gold, I just really like the buy still. The market is still very, very bullish. If I kind of just look at the overall direction, there's only one thing to do with this type of market, which is to buy. It's an aggressive uptrend. Not every trend is worth following, but in this case it is. So gold, the plan is to look for buys. We're pulling back into this zone. The idea is just to look for opportunities where, okay, we're seeing support form, we're seeing price, put in price action that looks like a higher low might be forming, and that's where we're finding our entries. At the moment, gold for me is just in free fall. We've put a top in around 38.70, and the market has just been falling since then, and we could still fall further as well. So just keep it an eye to see how price reacts with this area between 37.90 and 37.30, seeing how we react with that area, and then looking for some buys. And if things go very well, we're looking to take it back to highs and further. This is still a bullish market. I don't see much reasoning for us to not target the highs and be a bit more aggressive with the buys with this scenario. So very bullish in gold. It's in free fall at the moment, so not a lot to take, not a lot to analyze really, because for all I know, price could just absolutely blitz straight through that zone as well. It really depends how we react with that level, and that's really where the analysis and the attention to detail comes from. At the moment, it's just kind of waiting for price to get there, but yeah, the plan is still looking to buy gold and still looking to see if we can take it back to prior highs and further as well. And take a look at Euro USD. So you mentioned the hourly chart, the second last candle. So are you talking about this candle or this candle? I assume you're talking about this one. Are you talking about a bearish engulfing candle? Enter a short back to support. It's not a bad area actually. And back to support, would you be referring to kind of this area here where price is bouncing? If the current red one goes below the big green one. Okay, yeah. I mean, that would be a bearish engulfing candle. That would suggest that price is failing at highs and we could push back down. And a push back to this support level, if that's the support you're referring to, that would make sense. That would make sense. You're not asking too much from the market. We've rejected high as well. Yeah, I wouldn't look for anything further than that, though. I wouldn't be talking about this support level, though. If that's the support level you're referring to, there's not enough indication, there's not enough price action to necessarily say that we're about to fall that far. Okay, that support too, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. If you're talking about this level, that makes sense. That's a worthy bet to take. You know, if price was to engulf it, momentum shifting back with the bears, stops above the high, and targets back at the low, that makes sense. This area a little bit more kind of bold for that prediction. A lot could go wrong in between price trading from here to there. But to that support level, pretty reasonable. Yeah, that's a worthy expectation. So I wouldn't have much to say about that, to be honest. And momentum for the past few days has been pretty bearish as well. So you do kind of have that to your advantage. So yeah, I do like the idea, Rory. It does look good. Not asking too much from the market, because that's what some people do. Yeah, that's what some people do get mixed up with is, okay, they find a nice entry, a nice area for an entry as well. You're back at resistance, bearish engulfing candle, but then they have their targets kind of like all the way down here, where it's like, okay, you know, a bearish engulfing candle only necessarily predicts the next 2 or 3 candles, really. The idea with a bearish engulfing candle is that, okay, we've seen a lot of momentum going up, then suddenly momentum shifted back down again, and it's engulfed the prior bullish candle. So it tells you that the momentum from the bulls has kind of died out and bears are stepping in. So you're now expecting price to push down. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to push all the way down here. You know, it's just kind of giving you the reaction for the moment. And with a target back at this support level, it's pretty reasonable, and you're not looking for too much from the market. A lot of people have some really big targets and then confuse why price does eventually turn around. Well, it's because you didn't really have much incentive to believe that price was going to go that far to begin with. There's nothing wrong with having big targets, but be prepared to cut the trade if things are not going to plan. But yeah, I do like the idea on Euro USD. So in terms of some of the markets which I've been looking at, well, coming into the week, I was very, very bullish on dollar yen, but price has completely done a 180. And yeah, I'm pretty bearish now. So I'm being a bit more patient with dollar yen, but essentially we had a big consolidation. And the reason why I was bullish coming into the week was because we had a really big breakout over here. So the plan was, okay, price is broken quite clearly through resistance here, and we're probably going to push back into this level up there at 150.754. So the plan was, okay, we've got the breakout. Now I'm looking for pullbacks to that next level. That was very much the plan coming into the week. But of course, since Monday's happened, since momentum shifted again back to the bears here, we've seen really aggressive bearish momentum, and now we're back below this area, we're back below the level we broke out. So the whole idea I had about looking for buys and looking for price to continue higher is completely invalidated, because it was based on the breakout, and now we don't have the breakout anymore. So the idea has completely been invalidated. And what I'm looking at as this is kind of like a massive bull trap, big breakout, a lot of momentum, probably sucking in a lot of buyers to that. And now you probably would have a lot of buyers trapped on the wrong side of the market here, seeing a lot of momentum, a lot of instinctive people buying into that. Now price has flipped. Now they're in some serious drawdown and potentially closing their positions, which will probably give us a bit of a pullback, and then that will probably give us a continuation lower. So I'm actually pretty bearish now on dollar yen. We'll go through some more yen pairs to see what other yen pairs are looking like as well. But I do think we're pretty likely to see a push back to the low end of the range, where we've got all this support waiting for us around 146.6, 146.8. That's where I do see price heading towards now. So the plan for dollar yen would be a pullback into this kind of area. So something like this, and then some shorts back down into that area. I'll probably look to trade this maybe on the 15 if things look really good and pullback looks healthy. Maybe 15, maybe 30, maybe hourly even. I probably wouldn't go higher than the hourly chart because I want to maximize my risk to reward. But equally for this trade idea, we don't need to break above the high here. If price does break through the high there, I will step back. The idea has been invalidated. But what I can see right now for dollar yen is a massive fake out. Now I'm looking at the correction of that and then the continuation. And that's my trade idea for the remainder of the week, which is of course me pivoting on my bias I had at the beginning of the week and now becoming bearish. So again, that's a big part of trading as well, being able to change, because as a trader, you're not necessarily a predictor. No problem, Rory, happy to help. You're not a predictor, you're more so of a reactor, and you know, two very, very different things. Predictor is more like an analyst who will kind of, forecast where the market could go. The market might move 100 pips against them, but eventually get to their target. As a trader, you're trying to set up risk and trying to set up probability, because if the market does go 100 pips against you before it gets to your target, well, it's probably going to stop you out your position and you're going to lose money. So you need to be concerned about that side of things as well. And since things have changed, I have definitely pivoted that bias. And now I'm looking to see if we can get pushed back into 146.5, 146.750, we'll call it. So that's the idea with dollar yen. Pound yen's being very bearish as well. I was pretty bullish on this one coming into the week, looking to see if we can push back to the high. That did not play out at all, especially with the close on Monday morning. I think that was just before I started streaming yesterday. Really aggressive bearish close, and that's changed everything really. So after we had that close, I backed away, and then throughout the day we didn't see much price action. But again, this morning, another big bearish candle breaking lows there as well. So I wouldn't be looking to short pound yen yet. I still do think it's a bit too early. I am still seeing an uptrend, but I can see that price is failing at highs here to our left. You know, this is a pretty big level of resistance, and price does look like it's failing. So this could start to set up a nice bearish trend, which I then do look to short somewhere, find a pullback, and then we could see a lot of downside. So there could be some very nice shorts for pound yen coming up. There could be. I still think it's just a little bit too early to jump into anything, especially if you're looking at intraday opportunities. You know, from a 4-hour perspective, this was our prior high-ish over there. This was our low. Then price creates a new high over there. We still technically can find support in this area and start to push back up again. So I'm not going to rush into the shorts. I'm not going to rush into the buys either. I just think pound yen is quite choppy and quite messy right now. I like the momentum we had going into the week. It was a bit corrective, but we were picking up the pace. If that continued, I would have looked for some buys somewhere and take it back to the highs. But unfortunately, not quite the case, and not quite the opportunity that's set up. So pound yen for now, stepping back, just giving it some room and seeing how we do develop. Dollar yen, I'm very bearish on that one, so looking to short. Some of the other yen pairs, of course, bleeding a little bit too. Euro yen, very corrective on the way up. We've finally seen some downside here with this one as well. You can see very tightly knit on the way up. We've just smashed through that, now looking pretty bearish. I'm pretty sure Swiss yen is doing something similar as well. Yep, look at that. Very bullish on the way up. We've broken through that as well. I think Aussie yen is doing that to a degree. Not really, actually. This one's more flat, but definitely not bullish either. And New Zealand yen has been falling actually for quite a while because NZD has been very, very weak. So that has been already falling. What's up, Yoshi? Good morning, my man. I hope you're doing good. So yeah, it just the buys on the yen has not formalized at all. So definitely being very, very patient with that as well. No need to jump into anything. There's one thing having a bias and one thing actually having a trade to trade that bias. Because if you do have a bias, okay, I expect pound yen to do this. Sometimes you will fall into the trap of just taking trades that line with that bias just because you don't want to miss out on the move, when that is a very dangerous game to play. At the end of the day, you want to take good opportunities. Doesn't matter if you think price is going to do certain behavior, there's no good opportunity to actually take advantage of that. And yeah, that's kind of the situation I found myself in with a lot of the yen pairs, because I've been pretty bullish on them. So I've been looking for opportunities to try and buy them, but just no opportunity has presented. So I've stayed away, and it does look like that bias is slowly changing. And yeah, especially with dollar yen, I do have a short bias. And I think USD weakness has definitely helped that one out too. So at the moment, I'm going to keep a close eye on dollar CHF, because I still quite fancy the buys here, but I have to be careful because, of course, buying dollar CHF is going to be dependent on seeing some strength on the USD, which we're not quite seeing yet. But intraday, if I can find some pound USD longs, that will be a great opportunity as well. It does look like pound USD is starting to tire a little bit, and we could be seeing price bounce at these lows pretty well. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we kind of just run out of steam and then have like a really aggressive sell-off, and then I take some buys. That could be later this afternoon, could even be tomorrow morning as well. But if price does just find support and rallies here, then I don't really see much of an opportunity anyway, so I'll let pound USD do its thing. But yeah, that's one of the main goals I've been focusing on recently, just being more patient with trading opportunities, because at the end of the day, over the next 6 months, if you take 200 average or crappy trades, then your results are going to be pretty crappy at the end of the 6 months. But if you just wait for one really good trade and you take that one position, you could make a decent profit on that trade. Just taking one position could outweigh the results of 200. Now, I'm not advocating to say only take one trade every 6 months, but the message is quality is so much more important than quantity in trading, because you could just take a lot of bad decisions and lose a lot of money. And then what's the point? So really is quality over quantity. If you're on the beginning phase of your trading journey, then I actually would argue the opposite. I actually would say quantity is more important than quality, because you want to learn. Because in the beginning, you don't really know what quality is. You don't necessarily have the experience to identify that. So you want to actually have a lot of quantity so you can start to actually analyze your trades and see, okay, well, this is working a lot, this isn't working a lot. I can actually start to see what actually quality is, because quality isn't necessarily just finding out a strategy and having set rules for a strategy. That isn't quality. That's just your plan. In terms of quality, is knowing what actually looks good within that plan. So I actually would argue, take as much trades as possible, of course, within reason, within logic. But a lot of your learning is just looking back over your trades, seeing what's performing well, seeing what's not performing well, trying new things, getting burnt a few times. Of course, use demo accounts so you don't blow your savings or anything like that. And then you go from there. But once you get some experience, you know what you're doing with your strategy, then you need to scale that back and focus more on quality and application of a strategy. What's up, old golden bones? What is up? Morning. From America, big up to yourself. Is it what, 6:47 a.m. over there? Are you, I think you're East Coast, aren't you? Because West Coast should still be sleeping, I'm pretty sure. Unless you just got a crazy sleep pattern. But yeah, I hope you are doing well. I don't really have too many pairs on the watch list at the moment. A lot of pairs are not really doing, because the USD moves at the start of the week have thrown me off, to be honest. Because I was very, very bullish coming into the week, just looking to follow that momentum. So I was just looking for a kind of healthy pullback to find some buys, but momentum's kind of continued. So I can imagine a lot of people with that bullish bias have jumped into some buys and got a little bit burnt there on the way back down. Again, I'll get burnt with trades too. I'm not saying I knew price was going to continue down. All I said yesterday was prices doesn't look ready, so that's why I'm going to kind of stay away from dollar for now. I could have been very wrong. Price could have rallied to the highs and left me behind. That would have been a situation I had to deal with. But we have pushed a little bit further down, so now I'm just going to wait to see how we do trade in these areas. I'm still not in love with the price action, to be honest. Yes, I still do have a bullish bias. Still looking to try and find that momentum there. But yeah, it just doesn't look quite ready yet. I'm seeing a lot of bearish momentum. Price still taking out lows well. I'm not seeing much strength with the buys. So I do think intraday, yes, we might see a bit of a pop, but I can very much see us pushing back into resistance and coming back down. And that's just not something I want to get involved in just yet. Because if I'm looking for a buy for dollar, it's with the intention that we're coming back here, not just like a small intraday move. So yeah, not quite seeing the opportunities just yet. And a lot of the opportunities I had this week were kind of derived around USD strength. So dollar yen longs, euro shorts, pound shorts, Aussie shorts. Those are really my focus coming to the week. Dollar CHF shorts as well. So it's a bit awkward right now. Okay, 5:47 a.m. Nice and early, man. But glad you can make it to the stream even at early hours. What's up, Yusuf? Good morning, my man. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing good as always. Thank you. There was actually a dollar CHF setup that we had on the signals this morning, which actually gave me a bit more confidence for the dollar CHF buys I was analyzing. So yeah, dollar CHF buy earlier on the hourly chart, stop loss 0.794, which would take us about there for a stop. I think the entries was 796, so about there. And then targets 7995, which is about there. So I'm looking at a similar idea to that. I would like my entry further down, so that's what I'm waiting for. Probably would have my stop loss in a similar place, and targets I probably would push for that. But the idea is very similar, so I'm looking at the same buy. I'm very much just looking to play off this zone. So dollar CHF on paper looks good. It's a bit more corrected than the other USD pair, so I do like that about it. But the entry just hasn't quite formed to how I want it to shape up. I do want us to kind of at least take out this low slightly before I do look for a buy. I don't like it when price has just equally formed a low. That always kind of makes me feel uneasy, because I would have kind of had that instinct that price is probably going to break through that. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes price will just respect the support level like that and fly. But I'd rather take the opportunity which it spikes through, then recovers, then I take the buy. It's always going to be a better trade. Yusuf, okay, yeah, force on GJ and Aussie CAD, we can take a look. So as I mentioned with GJ, I did have a pretty bullish bias coming into the week, but that is definitely changed with this bearish move. So if I drop to the 15, we are looking pretty bearish, but do I want to keep selling? No, not really, especially because of where we're trading. You can see the lows we've just taken out. This isn't really an optimal place to short. Even if we do pull back here, I wouldn't say it's optimal for a short, because we've just taken out a major low. This is when price can be the most awkward, can be the most sensitive. We might see bigger pullbacks. We might see price start to consolidate, then drop, or price even rip through. There's too much uncertainty when price takes out a big low like this. So I personally would stay away from pound yen, even on the 15. I wouldn't take buys because it's too aggressive. And I wouldn't take sells because of the location. So really, I don't see much of an opportunity. Yes, you might catch a bit of a bounce if we do come back into this area, especially if it's like a nice corrective pullback. But equally, I could see us doing something like that. Maybe a slight push down, then we recover, and then have a much bigger move higher up. So I wouldn't be so keen with any opportunities right now with pound yen, to be honest, on the 15. And especially from a swing bias, this is still a very important support level down here, which if price does respect, I still will like the idea of some type of bullish bias, but I'm not really seeing that opportunity develop in terms of finding entries just yet. Need price to actually get there first. So yeah, with the 15, I wouldn't do anything really. It's a really nice aggressive move beneath lows. Now I'm kind of just interested to see what pound yen does, how we do develop. I don't really have enough information to say what I think will likely happen next. I could see a world where we come straight back up, and then this becomes a bit of a fake move, and we might see price become bullish after that. I can also see a situation where we just keep falling. So I wouldn't say wait for a pullback, then sure, I need to see how we pull back and how we get there. That's really where the focus will be. And even then, it's just not in the best place for it. So pound yen, I would skip that one personally. And in terms of Aussie CAD and the 15, that one was very bullish yesterday, very big move, breaking through some structure to our left. I was hoping Aussie CAD will see a bit more downside this week to come back and retest the highs here, but looks like the market has been even too bullish for that. So unfortunately, looks like we might have missed out on a move. We still could move down. We still could have a bigger correction. You know, that's not completely off the table, but it doesn't look likely at this moment in time. Doesn't look like likely we'll get there. So not too focused about the buys and the break-in retest, although it's still a good setup. It's just not likely to be, in action. So in terms of the current price action, we have taken out this high. Now, would I keep looking to buy here? Probably not either, to be honest, even though I'm still pretty bullish for Aussie CAD. I do think price is likely to get back to this high. Looking at the 50-minute chart, I just don't feel entirely comfortable breaking major highs like we did and then suddenly still looking to buy the market. I would like a much deeper correction first and then to pick up some longs later on. That would feel a lot safer to me. Buying pretty much as price takes out the high, equally to what I mentioned up with pound yen, selling as price takes out the low, not the best idea. So I am bullish on Aussie CAD. I do think we can make a push back to highs, but I would wait for a bigger pullback and for price to have a bit more of a breather. Maybe coming back to test this area here. I think that would be a more sufficient area for a buy. And then, yeah, I would expect Aussie CAD to make it back to resistance at 0.92268 roughly and beyond. But long term, I am actually still looking for a push back to the highs here for Aussie CAD, which is why I really like the buys from a swing perspective, because it's an idea which I can hold on to and potentially carry that trade for the next 2-3 weeks if things go very well. And that's why I also like to see if I can get a buy from here, because I'll be well positioned for it and really take advantage of that idea. But yeah, I'm going to have to be patient now. So yeah, I'm not really liking the price action, Yusuf. Again, I'm not really seeing great opportunities at the moment. GU is probably something I like the best, and $CHF as well. But even those two markets are not necessarily at my area just yet. But 50-minute chart, I don't have much to say here. I don't really see much of an opportunity either. Let me know if you're looking for something on the 15 for either of those pairs, Yusuf, because personally I don't see much. And pound USD, still struggling there. We might see that happen. We might see a move back into that low. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that, because that probably would be the best trade I can see so far this week. But if I can see a retracement on dollar yen, I will add that to the list as well. Maybe not the 50, maybe more so hourly chart back into this area, then some shorts from that zone. Because I was extremely bullish on dollar yen, but now that bias is completely flipped, and now I'm looking to see if I can take some shorts back into this low here. I'm going to pull back to that zone is looking the best, basically coming back to retest the high, and also looking to see if I can retest that resistance level as well. That would be nice, but at least just retest the supply zone and then we'll go from there. So yeah, looking to short dollar yen, looking to buy pound USD, both favoring USD weakness. I am looking to buy dollar CHF, which is opposing that bias, but we'll have to see if I do get good entry for this or not. And again, because I'm a very technical trader, I'm not necessarily trying to get the right direction, I'm not necessarily trying to predict what the market's going to do next. I'm also just trying to take a good trade based on technicals, based on how price is positioned, based on the context of the market, based on the environment we're in. I'm just trying to take a good trade in those principles, and I know if I do that, well, probability is in my favor anyway. Whether dollar is weak or dollar is strong or dollar's going to do this doesn't really bother me too much, because the market will paint that picture anyway based on the technicals. So that's really where my focus is. So when I'm looking for buys in dollar CHF, I'm also looking for shorts on like pound USD and dollar yen. It's not necessarily because I'm confused. I just don't really know what the dollar's going to do, and I'm just focusing on good opportunities. And I'm only going to take one at a time. There won't be a situation where I'm short pound and I'm buying dollar CHF. If there is a situation when that occurs, because I managed to take a trade and get one of them to break even before I took the second one. And that allows me to take the second position because there's no risk on the table. So that's the only time I'll be like in opposing directions. But I wouldn't just short dollar CHF and then buy pound, for example. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Hope you are doing good. Welcome to the stream. I've been doing good, my man. I've been doing good. Hope you're well as well. Savvy, what do I think of Euro Aussie? Yep, we can take a look at that. Took a sell yesterday, 1.78871. Okay, we can have a look at that. I haven't really been focused too much with Euro Aussie personally, so definitely need to go and take a look at that. What's your take on gold drop today? I just see it as another opportunity to get long, Ryan. Not yet though, because I still do think gold's in free fall, so I wouldn't suggest actively looking to buy just yet. But over the next few days, I think there will be some nice opportunities for a buy. I need to see how we do develop, because of course if gold just keeps dropping hard, then I wouldn't still have that same mindset. But for now, it's just gold's being super extended, it's been creating new highs continuously. It needs that pullback, so I want to keep doing that forever. So I think this is just part of a healthy market, really, as for now anyway. Let's go take a look at that Euro Aussie idea. So yeah, Euro Aussie is not a market I've focused too much on, in all honesty. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. Two, 3 weeks ago when we had this first drop. I was looking for a pullback, but it was a little bit too harsh for me. So I kind of stepped back from then, and then we started to consolidate a little bit. So I wasn't really interested anymore. I still do think that bias is likely to come through. I still do think price can make a move back to the lows here. But I just haven't seen price action that has convinced me to find any entries. So it looks like we've got that pullback. It looks like price is failing at highs. We had the high there. Price failed to create a new one. Looks like we're breaking support, which is basically what I mentioned yesterday. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with Euro Aussie. I would still say things do look quite choppy here. And I would wait for a more convincing break of this low before truly getting excited with the shorts. But it looks like we're hinting to that. Massive wicks to the upside with that kind of Aussie madness we had a couple of hours ago. So it looks like price is rejecting, pushing back within the range. And if we do see a more sustained break, you could be looking really good there for Euro Aussie back to the prior low. And these are the shorts which I'll be more interested in, because at that point, I can be quite confident that momentum stepped in, support is well and truly broken, price has broken out of this range, and now we're very likely to attack those lows there. So that's really what I'm waiting for Euro Aussie, a more convincing move, a more convincing break. So I still do look at price and I say, okay, we are still quite flat. I'm not quite ready to be short in the breakouts. Hasn't really cleared it by enough distance, and we are kind of still a bit noisy as well. So I'm waiting for a more convincing move down, but I do have a bearish bias. And you did say you were short from 1.7881, which is roughly around here somewhere. So to me, it looks like you're well positioned for that trade. Where are your targets, Savvy? How far are you looking to push that trade? I would expect us to eventually end up back at these lows, so that would be my plan. But yeah, I would say I'm pretty bearish on Euro Aussie. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It does really help out. Hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And it really does help out, so I do appreciate it. We'll quickly go through gold. What's up, Rufine? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Doctor. Okay, I think dollar CHF long is the right and strong bias. Yeah, I'm eyeing up dollar CHF longs. I don't see it quite ready yet, at least according to my rules and my plan. So I'm still waiting for an entry to back that up, but that is the bias I'm looking to play. That is the bias I'm looking to play with dollar CHF. Yes, we shall take a look at pound CAD as well. And pound Aussie, okay. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Okay, shorts and GJ also wasn't sure because of the possible GU strength. Good point. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of GJ shorts just because of where we're located. We've taken out some major lows. I don't want to keep looking to short that. Doesn't mean we can't go lower. Again, I'm only talking purely from a trading perspective. What price does isn't really up to me. I don't have any control of that. Price could fall off a cliff. It could fly to the moon. I have no say on that. I only have a say in what I do and the trades I do take and how I manage those positions. And pound yen, based on where we're located, I just don't like it after taking out such a big low. I'll wait for kind of a bigger pullback before getting involved, personally. Anywho, let's go take a look at gold. So yeah, gold did drop today. And for now, I just see that as another opportunity to get long. Not in terms of now. Gold still a little bit in free fall right now. Consecutive bearish candles there. So there isn't a bottom in play just yet. Or at least one that we can be confident with. So I wouldn't be looking to buy gold at all yet. But we are approaching key areas. Big consolidation here did allow us to rip to the upside. I would suggest this is the area which we can find some support and potentially look to push a lot higher. So keeping a very close eye on gold in this area. And there could be some really nice buy opportunities later in the week that we can take advantage of, take it back to highs and maybe 1300 as our next big target. So yeah, keep an eye on gold. I think there's opportunity there. I just think price having a natural pullback to what we have been needed. We've been crushing it to the upside. Okay, so we'll go through pound CAD and then we'll take a look at pound Aussie next. Okay, target to the same low, Savvy. Yeah, I agree. I think you're looking good. But yeah, I would say just keep an eye on that break. Because yes, we have broken support, but it's kind of like we've broken it. Not that convincingly. I could see price closing back above. If we can get more convincing break of that low, then yeah, I think those lows look pretty likely to be met. Yusuf, gold 15. Okay, I might as well take a look at that since I'm on gold right now. But yeah, we'll go through pound CAD and pound Aussie. And of course, if there's any other requests, drop in the chat. Or if I've missed the pair, I'm sure you guys will let me know. Okay, so yeah, I mean, gold on the 15 isn't really giving us much information either. That just looks like we've fallen off a cliff. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything with gold on the 50. I wouldn't look to buy it, I wouldn't look to sell it. Yeah, there's nothing really to do here. Price has been super bullish. The plan has been looking to buy, yes, and we've been, the price has been creating high after high. But now that we have seen quite aggressive bearish momentum, which again insinuates a slightly deeper pullback, we have to be very patient before finding entries. There's not enough information here to do anything really, apart from say, okay, well, we're looking pretty aggressively bearish right now. We might continue falling, we might find support and push up a bit. I don't have any information to back anything up really on the 15. It's just in free fall. Yes, we're temporarily finding support right now, but there's not a lot to say from that. This is the zone on the 4-hour chart, which I'm keeping a close eye on. I wouldn't really try and refine that to a 15-minute zone. You know, there's some smaller zones here we could look at, but I wouldn't really refine that. It's too specific. I need to take it into account before looking to buy, especially when I'm going against all of this momentum here as well. So 50-minute chart, not a lot to take here from gold, unfortunately. It's a chart which I'd probably give it a day or two to kind of just find its feet a little bit, and then maybe on the 15th something does develop Thursday, Friday. But today's way too early to be dropping 15 for anything really, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll go through pound CAD and take a look at pound Aussie next as well. Alfonso, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Currently New Zealand yen entry, okay, we can take a look at that as well. Yusuf, gold, very bullish, but we'll still be interested in buys on the momentum, in buys based on the momentum of the sells. Yeah, I mean, I'm still interested in buys as well, but I got to be careful of what the sellers are doing, because it's been really aggressive, and we don't want to go against that necessarily in terms of just getting in the way of that. Let price settle, let other buyers try and attack that for us, and then there'll be some safer entries, most likely later on, not always. Sometimes price will just turn on a pinhead and leave you in the dust, but again, we're not here for every single opportunity, every pullback. We just need to find the good ones. So let other people jump in front of that train there, because that is pretty aggressive. And maybe they do walk away for a really nice trade, maybe. But I'd rather wait for the more patient, the more kind of developed entry, where it's a little bit later to the party, other people potentially, taking the brunt of the force, and then you can take the buy later on. Especially in the market that's already bullish like gold, chances are we are going to push higher. Chances are momentum is going to kick back in at some point. So again, no need to rush into that. Be patient with gold. Okay, so let's go take a look at pound CAD and pound Aussie. So pound CAD, again, I don't really see much of an opportunity with this one, to be honest. I do look at the market and I do say it's very, very flat. So you got equal highs over there, you got equal lows mostly in this area. So the market's just been all over the place and not really doing too much. So I don't really see much of an opportunity to trade this one. Maybe shorts at the high, yeah, sure. I don't think it's any particularly impressive in terms of the opportunity. I did say yesterday that if we can break this low, recover, I do think that could be a nice place for a buy, because we have been pretty continuous with these higher lows. 1, 2, could be finding a third one. You could also maybe chalk this higher low into play as well. So you have been pretty consistent there. So essentially what price is doing is squeezing between resistance and this kind of slanted trend line. So we're kind of squeezing here. Maybe we're getting ready for a break high, maybe price is getting ready for a break lower. We'll see as things develop, but I do like this opportunity here for pound CAD. It's not particularly great because the conditions are very noisy and flat. So it's not an opportunity which I'll be completely excited to take. And if I can find this opportunity in a slightly more trending environment, I'll be more inclined to trade it there. But if you are looking for pound CAD buys, this is the only place for now which would make sense. Other place would be waiting for a big breakout and then some pullbacks afterwards. But that probably will take, didn't mean to do that. Hopefully didn't blind anyone there. But that will take some time. So for now, this is the only opportunity that makes sense. And again, I'm not really interested with the sells for now either. And in terms of pound Aussie, that one looks like it's slowly picking up to the downside. I said I wasn't really keen with the sells because it looked at one point price was just kind of consolidating. So I did say yesterday that if, not yesterday, sorry, last week, that if price does break to the upside more convincingly here, I'll actually look for some buys on the daily chart and look for a swing trade back into resistance back up to this area here. So I'm pretty bullish with pound Aussie. That's the area which I'm looking to attack. But we do need to see a very considerable bullish candle close to tell me momentum is picking up with the buyers. At the moment, it's a bit flat. And if you do see a break to the downside, well, maybe we are going to sell off after all. And if that's the case, I do think we can come back to this area here. So I'm pretty neutral for pound Aussie, because if price breaks up, I'm bullish. If price breaks down, I'm bearish. So I'm not necessarily trying to predict that. Yes, we're hinting at a bearish bias right now, but the day is still young. I wouldn't be too surprised if this does pull back and leaves a big wick there on the daily chart. So again, I'm not going to necessarily jump into any conclusions. I'm waiting for a much more convincing break before I do start to say, okay, I am bearish or I am bullish. Then yeah, pullbacks back down to the big psychological level of 2.000. That would be where my next big destination for the shorts on pound Aussie would be. So wait for a more convincing break, then looking for some shorts to pull back into that zone, and then we can attack the lows. And that's really the play, that's really the plan I have for pound Aussie for now. So we'll see what we do with the breakout. If we do break to the opposite direction, we'll switch that bias very, very quickly. But until maybe I get a solid daily close, I'm not gonna make any hasty judgments too soon. Okay, scalping gold options. Okay, nice, Ryan. Yes, Alex, we could take a look at oil and BTC, no problem. Doctor, seems like gold's falling from hitting the weekly channel resistance, more potential for deeper pullback. Your thoughts? Again, like I said, maybe. I'm not trying to predict too much about the deeper pullback until I kind of see more evidence, because, yeah, price is very overextended, as we can all see, just zooming out on the daily chart. We're very, very stretched. So we do need a deeper pullback at some point. We're going to see gold do something like this, soon. Is it today? It could well be. Is it going to be next month? It could well be. Is it going to happen next year? It could well be too. I wouldn't be too surprised if you go and smash into 4K this year, then see the bigger pullback. Because I can imagine a lot of big targets around 4K, maybe positions start getting closed around there, and that's when gold has a bigger relief. Because it's not like, okay, retail traders are going to start closing positions now. Even if they did, it's not going to make much of a dent. So yeah, I kind of do expect 4K, to be honest, and then maybe the bigger pullback. But we could still see a decent pullback like this and then continue. This isn't really such a big pullback in the context of things. Yes, it could take a few days, but really the market's still very, very bullish. So I don't have too much to say. Yes, we are kind of approaching extended areas where, okay, maybe a pullback's going to happen, but there's not enough to see. Just one big bearish 4-hour candle isn't going to get me excited with the sells here. So I'm very much taking it candle by candle. I like the zone here. If price finds support there, I'm very much looking to buy to take it back to highs. So that's still very much my take. You might be right. We might get that deeper pullback, but I'm not going to necessarily try and predict that until I see evidence that we're breaking through structure, breaking through lows. And that to me would be that, okay, yeah, we are probably going to get the deeper pullback. And then maybe some shorts is something I'll look at. I think it's a bit too early to try and predict deeper pullbacks just yet. Because I can imagine there's been a bunch of people trying to predict deeper pullbacks pretty much as soon as we had the breakout. And they'll be getting burnt like no tomorrow on shorts, because gold's just been attacking the highs. So I won't try and predict that until I get more evidence. Okay, so we'll go through New Zealand yen for Alfonso, then we'll take a look at oil and Bitcoin. No, I don't scalp, Ryan. It's a little bit too fast and furious for myself. I wouldn't really drop below the 15, and I only started dropping to the 50-minute chart the past like 2 or 3 weeks now. Well, I've been doing it in the past, but that's just like in testing environments. Only in terms of actual live trading, past 2-3 weeks, and that is still taking some time to get used to. So no, I don't scalp. I've never really scalped to be fair, ever since I started my trading journey. I started my trading, I was on like the 15, 30 minute time frames, and then I started working on the hourly, then I started working on the 4 hour, a bit on the daily, then I settled on the 4 hour, and then I'm starting to add a bit more of the 50-minute chart to my game. I like swing trade. I like holding trades with a swing bias. I don't like the idea of being in and out quickly. Just a little bit too fast paced for my kind of personality. Not that it's bad, it's just it's not really the type of trading which I like doing, or which I'm kind of practiced to either. Maybe in the future I might get into it, but yeah, I don't really see any interest for me now. Bias on the DXY for Alpha. Okay, let me go through New Zealand yen. So Alfonso 85, 87. $86.15. Okay, I should probably drop a little bit lower. So I can imagine stop losses above the high here, roughly. And targets 85.59. About there. Not too shabby. I don't mind this one. Basically looking for price to return to support. And since we're very, very close to doing that, it looks likely. So yeah, you're looking pretty good there, Fonzo. You're looking pretty good, I can't lie. There's been a lot of bearish momentum in the market, and you're looking just to see if you can snipe a little bit more of that as we do reach lows. Because I would expect New Zealand yen to take out this low. I don't think we'll get here and just bounce and reverse. We might bounce, sure, but I do think we're likely to take out that low. So I do have an incentive to expect more downside from New Zealand yen. We've just seen the yen gain a lot of strength as well, so that's kind of the theme right now. A lot of yen strength. NZD has been particularly weak for some time, and you're not looking for anything aggressive. Yes, you are selling a little bit short for my liking, a little bit short, a little bit further down for my liking, but there is a lot of momentum in the market, and you're not necessarily trading into anything critical, and price it's not far away from your take profit either. So yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I like it. Just taking advantage of the current momentum into support, and then you're done. I like the idea. In terms of probability, we are pretty likely to see a push there anyway. So looking pretty good there, Alfonso, on that New Zealand yen position. Okay, so we'll go through oil and Bitcoin next. Then we'll take a look at the DXY and the 4 hour and 15 for Yusuf and thoughts on Euro. Okay, we shall take a look. Savvy, thoughts on Euro NZD, took a buy. Okay, interesting. So you're buying Euro NZD, but you're selling Euro Aussie. I mean, I imagine your Euro Aussie is probably break even or risk is off the table, so it doesn't really matter. But one of those trades is probably going to do its job and the other one's not, because of their inverse correlation. But yeah, we can take a look at Euro NZD, not a pair again, which I've focused too much lately, but we can definitely dive into that. Peter, if you don't scope trade, what sort of risk reward do you target? How long do you average holding a trade? Good question. Well, it depends on the time frames of trading. On the 4 hour chart, my typical risk rewards between 2-3R, but it can differ quite a lot sometimes. Some of the bigger trades I've done is like maybe 7-8R, which are not common. And sometimes I will go for like a 1 to a 1.5. If its probability is really good, and I can't particularly target too far because maybe there's a big level of resistance or support in my way. But on average, between 2 and 3R is where I do find most of the time I'm taking my profits. 50-minute chart, well, again, I've only just started trading it recently, but again, my targets are roughly the same as well. But of course, holding time will be very, very different. 4-hour chart for the winners, roughly about a week. 50-minute chart, you're probably looking at about a day. So yeah, and that's for the winners. Losers will skew things up because I could get stopped out the next candle potentially. So taking into account the losers will differ quite a lot. But if you're speaking about winners, you know, less than a day really for the 15 and about a week for the 4-hour chart. And then because I am going to start trading timeframes in between, then it's going to be a mixture of that. But yeah, I don't target anything crazy. Like 2 to 3 hours, a really nice average, because I'm also trying to get a win rate, you know, more or less around the 50% area. And, you know, if you can do anything above 1 to 2, then you're looking really, really good just in terms of the maths behind that. So I'm not looking for any particularly crazy risk rewards. If the risk reward makes sense, I will go for it. I don't have like a risk reward target, for example. It's not like, okay, my average is between a 2 and 3R, so therefore I'm just going to target 2.5R on this trade. No, it depends on the scenario. You know, if I was short here and it made sense for me to target this low, which was like a 6R target, then yeah, I would have a 6R target for that trade and I'll manage it along the way. But if, for example, I was taking a short here and there's a level right there, it still looks good, but maybe the risk towards like a 1.4, I can still take the position, but I'm not going to, you know, shoot for the moon here. So in terms of targets, is very much down to the position itself. But I would say though, in terms of finding consistency, what really helped me in the beginning was just setting a 3R target. And then I took half my position at 1.5R. So what I would do is I would set the trades, wherever the stop loss is, and then 3R would be my target, and 1.5R is where I take half the position and move stops to break even. And quickly after I made that shift, I actually started to find some rhythm in the market and actually started to find some consistency. And that was kind of my first kind of big breakthrough. Not overnight, it was over the course of like 6 months, but that was really one of the elements, not the most important element, because I still had to take, you know, good positions at the end of the day. But in terms of trade management, I really liked it because it just simplified everything. I knew exactly kind of the win rate I needed to actually be profitable. It was just very easy, mechanical to do. I didn't really have to think too much, and it just made the process of trading a lot easier. So I would recommend, if you're kind of looking for consistency in terms of your management, in terms of your exits, and in terms of your risk rewards, set like 2R or 3R. I think that's a good soft spot because you're still going to have a positive risk reward. So you're still letting your winners run essentially, but have that set kind of 3R, 2R, close half at 50% and book profits, book stops at break even. It's not going to maximize your wins. That's the reason why I shifted from that technique, because it doesn't maximize your wins. It doesn't maximize your upside, but it will keep your equity curve very stable. And if you do just have a slight edge in the market, eventually your equity curve is going to eventually pop off and start pushing to the upside. So in terms of the management, it just simplifies everything, keeps everything very easy to manage, and kind of gets you in a good place. And then you can tweak and refine after. Okay, so we'll go through oil and BTC, Euro entity as well. We'll take a look at DXY and Euro. Okay, Alfonso, you do small scalps 2 to 1. Oh, okay. Take all day. Hates if they take less than an hour, and it could have been 5+. Oh, okay, nice. Again, necessarily, I mean, scalps traditionally, like on the 1 minute, 5 minute chart, you're normally very in and out. But you can have the idea of a scalp which turns into a bit more of a swing, because my opinion of swing trading is not necessarily that it has to last for like a week or more. Swing trading just basically trying to catch a swing in the market, because there's different ideas. For example, this is a swing, but then I can drop to like a 1 minute chart, for example, and I'll still call this a swing as well. Swing is kind of like how the market moves. That's a swing, that's a swing. So you can still kind of swing trade on the 1 minute chart, but the trade might start off as a scalp and you might hold for a bigger trade, as Alfonso mentioned. Sometimes you can look to try and attack some bigger risk rewards there. And it just depends on the opportunity. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Hey, what's up, Lighton? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. Euro pound. Okay, let's see if I forget to do your pairs this time. I've got a few pairs to get through first. But yeah, I'll make sure I do remember. Okay, so yeah, oil's looking interesting. Really aggressive move yesterday. Was that? Yeah, that was yesterday. So the price was really flat, consolidating. We spiked to the upside, and then we're looking pretty bearish on what day was that? Yeah, man. I just looked at the day. On Monday, losing my mind. Essentially, we do have a range here, so there's not a lot we can do. I did say, if you're looking for opportunities, this is the area for it. Now that we've had this bearish move, I wouldn't be jumping in now. Now we're looking to see what price does at support. When price is ranging, I'm not interested in the middle at all. That's where all the noise is. That's where people are probably losing money, most likely. So I want to focus my efforts here and there. That's where things get a lot easier, and I'll probably find some nice opportunities. Or of course, wait for the breakouts as well. But in the middle, that's the no-go zone. That's the no man's land. So right now, I wouldn't do too much with oil. Even if we have like a push up, which looks like a pullback, and maybe price tries to continue, I wouldn't even really bother with that, to be honest. I'd wait for us to now push back into support and see what type of price action we get here, because there could be some very nice buys. You can see evidence of us finding support, rejecting well. We could get there again, see similar price action, and this could be a very nice buy opportunity intraday or even on the 4-hour chart potentially. So just looking for oil to continue to range. I do expect us to break lower, so I kind of do have a bearish bias with oil. I do think long term we can come back and attack the lows there at 55.6, but equally I would wait for us to actually get the breakout first to really confirm that, and then we could talk about pullbacks on the way down. So oil, I don't see much of an opportunity unless you're looking to buy at support or you're waiting for breakouts, and that's about it really for oil. Like I said, intraday, not the biggest fan. In terms of BTC, BTC is interesting, very bullish, very bullish, but it's awkward because we haven't done anything necessarily. Yes, we've had a really strong move up, but these are the highs and lows which my focus is at. And I was pretty bearish coming into the week, to be honest, with BTC, because we had that momentum come into play. Price started to disrespect some of these lows. We had a nice consolidation over here. I did say if price can just pull back into this level, reject well, I do think that's a nice place for a short for us to attack these lows again. What I didn't expect is to see such an aggressive up move, and now that's kind of skewed things. So I think if you're playing very intraday with BTC, there's a nice long opportunity. Very intraday, you're not looking to do anything crazy. So if I dropped like hourly, I do think this could be a smart place for a buy, and that's about it. I wouldn't try and take the trade any further than that, because I don't know what's happening with BTC right now, to be honest. I mean, my best guess would be this is just like a big correction. I would still say Bitcoin is very bullish, and what we're doing now is just having a big correction to eventually break out. So that's what my instinct is, but I can't really back that up with like a nice long opportunity or nice swing opportunity, because there really isn't one. We had this low form, price tried to create new highs, it was very slow, that didn't happen, we formed a lower high, and we pushed down with some strength as well, but we failed to take out this low. So we are at the point where we're starting to see higher lows form, but also lower highs. So essentially we're kind of squeezing a little bit. Maybe that's another lower high forming there too. So it's a little bit of indecision for BTC. And because there's indecision, I wouldn't look for a big move just because I'm undecided of what price is going to do. What I can do though is look for those small intraday positions and kind of maybe take advantage of momentum a little bit, which is kind of what we got here. This looks like a big V-shaped pattern to me. So because of that, I do think we can see a bit of a correction and possibly a buy just back to highs, and then we'll go from there. Maybe price smashes through, maybe sell off coming back into some supply areas. I do not know. But yeah, short-term buys, I do think we can get away with that. Not there yet, so keep an eye out. That could take maybe, again, a day or two to develop. But definitely not a bad opportunity at all. So that's kind of where I'm at with BTC. Okay, so we'll take a look at DXY and Euro on the 15 for USD. Then we'll go for USD as well. And Euro Pound and Pound CAD for Lighten as well. No problem, Peter. Take care, my man. We'll catch you on the next one. I appreciate you tuning in. Guys, make sure you do drop a like if you're enjoying the content. It does really help out. And of course, subscribe to the channel. What's up, Nathando? I'm late for class. Better late than never, though. Better late than never. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's take a look at DXY and Euro. So yeah, DXY, I'm still bullish. I'm still looking to attack the buys. That is still very much the plan. I did say on my weekly analysis, if you didn't catch it, but basically, as long as we can respect this area, I do have that bullish swing bias for the DXY, that we've had this up move, and now price is essentially having a pullback, getting ready to form a higher low to attack the highs again. That is still very much my main plan of action. So that's the idea. But what I am also saying is I don't think price is quite ready yet to be bought. Yes, we're in an area which I do think price will buy from, but in terms of the price action, which is the most important thing, I'm never the type of trader to buy because price is in a certain location. I'm always buying because we are in that location, plus I'm seeing evidence in the way price is behaving that does, insinuate that price is probably going to move up or down. So it's 50-50. We need the level, we need the location, and we need price to support that. And in this case, I'm not really seeing the price action to support that. Yes, we are starting to become a bit more corrective, which I do like. We were pretty aggressive on the way down, coming into the week, Friday, Monday. Now we're starting to slow down a little bit, becoming a bit more corrective. Yes, we're seeing a bit of strength here, but it doesn't really mean too much to me. I can see very much us form a lower high and push back down again, respect supply there and continue lower. So I'm being very patient with the DXY buys for now. I am bullish, I am looking to buy it, but just not quite ready yet. And I'm letting other people jump into buys now and let them take the brute force of the dollar for now. And then I'm looking to see if I can just catch that opportunity just before price does rip up, which might still be in another day or two. So I'm being very, very patient just because the price action isn't quite doing the behaviors I want it to, which is slow corrective. This is quite speedy, quite aggressive. So that tells me there might be a bit more to the pullback before we do eventually see some upside. So yeah, being very, very patient here. 4-hour chart not really providing much information apart from, yes, this is a nice zone for a buy. 50-minute chart is still looking pretty bearish. I would argue that if we could see a nice correction, this could actually be a very nice place for a short on the dollar. But I would argue this would be a very nice place for a short. Nice consolidation, aggressive push down, still seeing lower lows and still seeing lower highs. If you can pull back well, I think that would be a really nice place for a short back in around 97.950. So yeah, DXY shorts do make sense on the 15-minute chart. I do think there's a bit more juice to squeeze on the way down before we do find support to start pushing back up. And Euro, pretty much the exact same thing as well. Yes, I do think eventually price will push back down. I have marked this zone as basically anywhere within this zone. I do think price can form a lower high and continue lower. And looking at the bigger picture, I'm basically looking to see if I can find the continuation of this. Another push down. I'm not looking for anything crazy. Maybe just a push back here and then we call it a day. But I do think there's another drop to be had for Euro, equally another push to be had for the dollar, for the DXY. So that is still the bias. But again, if I drop 15, do I want to be looking to sell this? No, I think it's way too early. Yes, you might catch some shorts at the highs here, some shorts on push down. I don't think this move here is ready. Maybe a push like that back into lows, yeah, sure. But I don't think that bigger move is ready. So I'm waiting for the 15 to build that story up. and then maybe some shorts later on in the week look good. Maybe a nice double top like that, break structure, maybe form a consolidation, then we start pushing down. That's something I'm looking for. A good high probability opportunity that does say that, okay, the 15 is bearish now and the 15 is likely to fall. Yes, the 15 has been falling for a while, but this is somewhat of a bullish trend forming against it. We've seen sustained higher highs and higher lows now. I'm not looking to go against that until I've got evidence to do so. So yeah, that's really where I'm at with DXY, with Euro on the 15, the 4-hour chart. Nice area for a short, not ready yet. And that's what I was mentioning yesterday as well. Okay, so we'll go through USD next, and then we'll take a look at Euro Pound and Pound CAD. If I've missed a pair, let me know. But we'll take a look at Euro NZD. You said you got a buy on this one. So you're selling Euro Aussie but buying Euro NZD. Very interesting situation. I have to admit, Euro NZD has been very, very bullish. But you've got a buy from 96651. Okay, you're doing very well with that buy then. Okay, what's the targets with this opportunity? Because you caught the swing low, prices smashed into the high and taken that out, and we've still continued, but we're kind of trading in oblivion right now. We've taken out some highs dating back to COVID in March 2020. Last time we've been at these prices is dating back to Jan 2010. So yeah, price hasn't been in these areas for quite a while. So what's the, I imagine probably just trading stops maybe. But yeah, very impressive move. But to be honest, if you're selling Euro Aussie and you're buying Euro NZD, especially in this situation where both are in profit, one's going to revert back to your price, your entry price. One's going to keep going. So if you can kind of manage that in a way where you give enough room for the one that is going to keep going to allow it to go, and the one that does come back against you does come back against you, you could be sitting in a really nice winner. I mean, you already are with this position, but in terms of like the start of a trend, pretty much. Because either Euro NZD is going to come back down like this, and then Euro Aussie is going to keep falling. So what I would suggest is that maybe you've caught the reversal of Euro Aussie. So maybe this then does start to actually continue lower like that. Or maybe Euro Aussie is going to start to flip bullish again and start to follow Euro NZD. And what you've managed to catch for Euro NZD is already an insane move, but it could get more insane. Might see another pullback and then price continues some more. So one of them has the probability to really continue. Which one, of course, we don't know. But if you can try and manage it and give one of them, I mean both of them room, could be some very, very big moves there. Okay, we'll go through, okay, you said just trading stops for now. Yeah. So yeah, continue to trail stops. Like I said, we haven't been in these prices for quite some time, so you're probably going to see a correction pretty soon. We're already looking tired. But yeah, it's a very big move anyway. So even if you do get trailed out, it's been a fantastic move. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Pound and Pound CAD quickly. All right, take care, Yusuf. No problem, man. Happy to help. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Pound on the hourly chart. Is that what you mentioned? Yeah, on the hourly time frame and Pound CAD. Okay, so hourly chart, Euro Pound. Okay, so still back at resistance. Haven't taken up the high yet. So this price is just dancing below that. yeah, I don't see much here, Lighton. I don't see much. To me, on the hourly, it looks like we're consolidating here as well. Maybe you find a nice little buy opportunity if you spike through support and take a buy at the low of the range, because essentially you're just taking advantage of the current conditions. Price is bouncing pretty well at this area. Another rejection could provide you a nice buy and you take advantage of that range. Equally, a nice breakout could look good as well, and then some pullbacks afterwards, and then some shorts there too. Either which way, I wouldn't want to trade in the middle of that range. That's where a lot of the noise is and price is just fluctuating. Spike through the low, reject well, that could be a nice reversal point. And like I said, if we break through, that could be a nice opportunity to find momentum and short that on a pullback maybe. But yeah, very tough conditions right now for Euro Pound, especially just hovering below that high. I can see price maybe running to the upside and then pushing back down again. So I'm not the biggest fan of Euro Pound at all. Don't have really much to say about opportunities apart from those two. Personally, for me, I'll leave the pair alone. But of course, you know, I'm sure you got an opportunity which you're keeping an eye on. But I don't really see much here in Euro Pound, especially intraday too. I mean, it's not like 4 hours doing any better, but yeah, I'm not seeing much opportunities there on Euro Pound on the hourly. And if I take a look at Pound CAD, I assume hourly time frame as well. But yeah, for Pound CAD, I actually don't mind this buy. I actually quite like it. I mentioned Pound CAD earlier in the stream. I said we are pretty consistent with these higher lows here. Can you mark this one? So we are pretty consistent with the higher lows. So it looks like this overall uptrend still is continuing and price is still trying to push higher. So I do like that aspect for Pound CAD, but we are stuck at resistance and you can see price is really struggling at that level. So in terms of an opportunity, what I would suggest is another move down, back into the trend line, back into support, then finding some buy opportunities in that location with some stops underneath, of course, and maybe a target back at resistance, more or less. This way, you're still taking advantage of the trend of market structure. You're still buying at a relatively safe space, location, you know, back at 4 hour support, and then you're not looking for anything crazy with targets as well. So there is a lot of logic here around 1.855. But would I be looking for a short? No, not really. I kind of still see this as a bullish trend, even though we've been failing at highs quite a lot. So I'm not really the biggest fan of the sells. I would rather look to buy. I mean, it's not even the best conditions. I would still argue this is the middle of a trend, middle of a range. The only reason why there's a bit more hope to this is because we are following the direction of a very established bullish trend. So I don't think it's the worst opportunity in the world, but the location isn't particularly great either for Pound CAD here too. So that's kind of it for Pound CAD. And again, in terms of the hourly chart, I don't see much here as well. I think that's still a nice buy even on the hourly time frame too. So yeah, not my favorite pairs at the moment, but that's the best I've got for them. Yes, we shall take a look at Aussie CAD. Nothando, no problem. Hey, what's up, CS? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Still bullish with DXY holding 97.8. Yep, I'm still having a bullish bias as well. Just doesn't look like dollar's quite ready yet, but we're still trading in a location which, if we are going to buy, if we are going to see some upside, it's going to be from that area. We can take a look at DXY in a moment, but I am still having that bullish bias as well. Yeah, true. A lot of movement. And yeah, very true as well. Last day of the month, 30th of September. So yeah, could definitely see some noise come New York session based on that. Very good point there too. So yeah, definitely something to be cautious of. Again, I wouldn't say it's, in terms of the month's end, like a reason to not trade, but don't be surprised if market's a bit more volatile. And of course with news events, of course that's obviously going to be a theme as well, but you do have that kind of external component to think about with the last day of the month, and then the last quarter opening as well. This is the last day of Q3. Might have some people making some moves going to Q4, reposition themselves, some new ideas, some new sentiments coming out. That could be very much the place as well going to the final quarter of the year. I thought you could force something. No, I'm not that good, Lighton. I'm not that good. I can't do magic, my man. I can analyze a chart for you, but I can't do magic. Okay, so let's take a look at Aussie CAD, then we'll go through DXY quickly. Yusuf, please don't mind go through UJ. Okay, I will go through it later because currently in class. Forgot to ask for the analysis. Naughty Yusuf, in class. I mean, technically this is the class as well, so you're in two classes at the same time. But yeah, sure, I will take a look at Dolly N for you. No worries, man. Okay, so in terms of Aussie CAD, yeah, looking really bullish. I'm a little bit gutted with this one because I was looking for a bit more downside to buy off this level here. It doesn't look like we're getting that opportunity at the moment. It looks like price is just about to push back to highs, really. It would be nice to see if we can get something like this. That would be beautiful if we can get that, because we've had like a complex correction within the bearish move. One will push down, take out these lows, retest critical support. I think that would be a very nice trade, especially with Aussie CAD being a very choppy pair too. So I quite like the idea they're still just on the breaking retest of this level, but it just doesn't look quite likely at this moment in time. So I'm not seeing much of an opportunity really. Maybe to have another big pullback like this, maybe back into this area, that could provide some nice buy opportunities. I'm very bullish on Aussie CAD. We've seen price explode to the upside like so. We've had a big correction. I do think price has naturally still got higher prices to achieve, and I was naturally trying to find the next higher low. But yeah, since we've had this breakout, I'm looking for buys in this area, looking for a higher low, and now I'm looking to target the highs there. So that's very much the plan I have with Aussie CAD. That's the target. So we do need to see a bit of a correction. I don't like the fact that price is just taking out these highs. I want to see price push against that direction, see a bigger healthy correction, and then we can take some buys off the back of that. So, didn't mean to do that. So yeah, I am very bullish on Aussie CAD. Just don't quite have the opportunity to back it up right now or find an entry, but that is very much the direction I'm looking to trade in. In terms of the dollar, yeah, DXY I'm pretty bullish on it as well, but I don't think it's quite ready to see some upside just yet. So that's my main conundrum right now. I'm looking for opportunities to buy it, but it's not quite there yet. It's in a great area, so it is there in terms of the location. Just in terms of price is what I'm talking about. What I want to see in terms of entries and how price is moving. I don't think price is shaping up to give me a good buy setup just yet, and I could see price maybe giving us a bit more downside maybe before we actually do see the move. So I'm being a bit careful for that too. But we are testing a key area, and I'm keeping a close eye. Yes, we're seeing price slow down. Looks like we might be printing a doji, which again is a good sign, but not quite enough for me to be excited for a buy just yet, especially dropping to the hourly chart. You know, we're still kind of falling, but we are looking a bit more corrective as well. So that's a big takeaway. We were pretty aggressive yesterday. Now it's a bit more corrective. Now I can see price, kind of getting ready for the buy. So keeping a close eye there for DXY, just not quite ready yet for me, but I still have the same idea as you, cease integrated. Still looking for a push back into the high, and then probably a bit further beyond that to maybe this high there as well. And I'm pretty sure you're looking for something similar. And then we'll see what we can get from then onwards. But for the most part, still pretty bullish on the dollar. As for which pair was it? UJ. Yeah, so UJ, I've actually shifted my bias a whole 180 degrees. I was very bullish coming into the week, but now I'm pretty bearish. Simply because this has proven to be a bit of a fake out. We had a very bullish move, 2 aggressive bullish candles there Thursday. And that for me was a big sign to say that, okay, dollar yen bulls are here. We've broken through key resistance, which we've been struggling for the past, how many months, how many weeks, really struggling to break through that zone. It's finally achieved that. Therefore, I do expect to see price go and hit that high now, go and hit that resistance. So coming into the week, after seeing price look really bearish on Monday morning, I was a little bit thrown off there a little bit because I wasn't too sure if this was going to be a fake out or price was just having like a big aggressive retest to continue. So I was still retaining the bullish bias for Monday, keeping a close eye for the buys, but we started to break back underneath the zone. Actually had a quick retest intraday and then sold off from then onwards. So that for me now has just proven that it is a fake out, and perhaps we're now back within the range. And as long as we can stay like that, I would like to see a pullback, maybe even retest the high again, and then I'll be looking to short back into support. So I am pretty bearish now for dollar yen, pretty bearish. I do think long term the market is likely to continue lower. I've been saying this for a while, but yes, we do somewhat have some bullish structure here for dollar yen, but this is super corrective, and in my book it just looks like a big correction for this bearish move here. So the way I see it, this looks like a big bear flag pattern, and at some point I do think we do spill over. Maybe the fact that we're failing at highs now is a sign that we're getting ready for that big spillover, getting that ready for the big push down. Of course, we still need a lot to do. Probably need to break through this support level to really get the ball rolling for the shorts. But it's a sign we're failing at highs. It's a sign that we're starting to struggle to continue this uptrend. Therefore, the shorts are becoming a lot more probable. They're coming more likely to occur. So yeah, now that we're back within the range, the plan is pretty simple. Drop into like intraday, hour 15. Now the plan is looking for pullbacks into this area. It doesn't have to specifically test the high there at 148.816. As long as we can pull back anywhere within this region, I'm happy to take some shorts really. And then yeah, targets 146.8 or even just the prior low, just to keep things really simple. But yeah, dollar yen pretty bearish now. Bias has flipped around. So no longer looking at buys unless we break back above the zone, then we can re-investigate that. But that is not the case for now. And yeah, looking for a push back into support there. Andre, what's up, my man? Pound USD is preparing for a long sell. What do you mean by that? A long sell? Do you mean like a big sell, or like because I don't know if you mean long as in the period of time or long as in like the trade, like long pound as in buy pound. I'm a bit confused. I think you mean like long sells, like a big sell. If that's what you mean, then yeah, I do think we can go for a big sell. I do think price is likely to form a lower high and push down. I am looking at some intraday buys first for pound to see if I can get away with that quickly. I have marked this zone here. That's my main idea for like the next 1 or 2 days. If we can get a push there, that is for some buys in that area. Then I'm looking for that push higher up. Then yeah, that's the idea I'm looking to tackle intraday. But yeah, in terms of the bigger picture, the longer term move, I do think there is more downside because it looks to me that the trend is failing to continue with this move here. We've come crashing back down. I do think price is just having a pullback of that to eventually continue lower. Get back to these lows and maybe further as well. So I do think pound USD shorts are pending. I think dollars are going to have a big say on that. So we kind of need to wait for dollar to get that strength back into play. But I do see pound USD eventually running out of steam at some point this week, putting a lower high in and starting to attack the lows again. So I do agree with that bias. Just I don't think it's quite here ready yet. But I mean, you said it's preparing, so I would use that word as well. So I think we're on the same page in terms of that bias. I think pound, yes, shorts are looking. I think it's looking at the weekly. I mean, weekly is seeing a lot of rejection. No, let me get rid of that. Yeah, it does look like price is running out of steam there, potentially forming a bit of a top there as well. So yeah, I can see that. I would argue that this is just like a big range for the weekly chart. So I wouldn't really get too caught up in the price action here. It's just a big range really. I would say the significant move for pound would be if pricing closed back below here or close above there. That would be the significant candles we're looking for. Because if we do that, that really confirms that this consolidation was a bit of a top potentially. And yes, we could continue back down. And likewise, if we do break to the upside, well, this trend is well in play. And then we're looking at something like that for the continuation. I would just suggest that we are consolidating really with pound USD. Still seeing wicks to the upside, still seeing wicks to the downside too. So nothing's really quite there in terms of the longer term move. Yes, we could be hinting at that. I'm still kind of taking it day by day, week by week with pound, which is why I'm looking for those short term buys to start things off. And then maybe some sells later in the week, Thursday, Friday. It does look like we're rejecting there, so maybe I do actually see the opportunity set up, because I was a bit 50-50 if we actually do get the move. Because I was like, okay, price is looking somewhat bullish right now. Maybe we just do continue to highs and rip through them. But if we do see a push down, maybe this afternoon, I will keep an eye out for some buys. And if I do, yeah, I'm there to take them 100%. Let me have a quick look at the news for today. Because yeah, if they do set up later today, then I'm going to have to tiptoe around some news events. Yeah, we've got Jolts at 3 o'clock. Jolts I'm not too scared of. It can definitely pack a punch. And again, for a 50-minute time frame, it can definitely pack a punch. If this is like a 4-hour chart, I wouldn't really care, to be honest, with the Jolts. Yes, it can move the market, but my stop loss size will put me in a safe distance. So even if the news does go against me, I'm not going to get slipped badly. Spread's not really going to be too much of an issue because my stop loss is bigger and my lot size will be smaller. 15, it could be a bit more interesting. It's a situation we're going to see how price continues, because maybe we do get there, maybe we don't. And if we do get there, maybe it's after the news, and then the news is not really an issue anymore as well. So it will depend on that. But yeah, got to keep an eye out for some buys there for pound dollar. That's going to be my main kind of interest. Maybe some dollar CHF buys as well if we take out that low, but looks like we've already bounced. So yeah, I might have missed that boat there. So for now, pound USD will be the bigger focus. Anywho, guys, we have reached the end of the stream. I do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in and dropping likes, commenting, chatting with myself, subscribing. Does really help out the channel, and I'm very grateful for all of that. If you haven't done that already, please go and do so. It does really help out. If you have enjoyed it, found it useful, show some love. It does really help out. So thank you. If you could do that. I won't be live tomorrow. I don't think I'll be live Thursday either. I'm a bit busy at the moment. I will keep you guys updated, but I don't think I definitely won't be live tomorrow. Possibly Thursday, but probably not Thursday as well. So I'll keep you guys updated. I will post on my community tab and the Telegram. So if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing in the markets, do keep an eye out on those pages there. But in terms of streaming, I'm a bit caught up at the moment. So do have some errands to run, and then hopefully by Friday or early next week, things are back to normal. So yeah, do stay tuned for that. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next stream very, very soon. Take care.